ready to go.
Okay. Hey guys, welcome back. Today, we're working on the go-kart. We're taking the wheels off and putting the new tires on, and then we're taking the motor off and getting everything all stripped down, and we're going to see what we've got and see what it's going to take to get that new motor on there. I could go with that little Tecumseh motor, but the Predator's a bigger motor with more torque, and that old motor's probably a little bit tired, but we might use it on another project. We'll find out once we get her off and get her apart. So let's get started. Okay, I'll admit it. I tried to take the tires off, and I couldn't get the tires off the wheels. Now, I probably could if I worked at it hard enough, but I realized I was going to wear myself out for the next 2 hours messing with it. So we took him to this guy. Now you guys will see a lot of people changing tires by hand, but not like this guy. He just knocked the other one out in about 5 minutes flat. This is definitely a skill I don't have. Couldn't have said it better myself. So, now off to the easy part, putting them back on the go-kart. Now that the tires are around, it's a little easier to take the motor off. I don't have to prop the thing up from underneath. So job one's going to be get all these covers out of the way. So as usual, I've got a magnet to put all my screws on. I don't know if we're going to keep the plastic covers or not. They look nice enough, but we'll see what it looks like without them before we put them on. If we end up replacing the clutch, we'll definitely leave it off because then we want the shiny new clutch logo sticking out. Yikers. That one might be for the impact gun. There it goes. That one was on there to stay. Okay, plastic cover should be all loose. Let's see what she looks like without them. No, what she looks like without them is dirty and rusty. I don't know how much of this is dirt and how much is rust, but we'll find out once we get the motor out of the way. With as much oil as I saw on top, you would think it would be all over the bottom, but it's not. So it looks like that's about it. I believe the motor is completely detached. It's just 4 bolts and some linkage and some wires, and that's about it. So now the fun part, getting it out. Don't know exactly what it weighs, but I guarantee the steel frame underneath it weighs 30 or 40 pounds. Yeah. Oh, good Lord. Arg. And there we go. I made one mistake when I pulled the motor off of the go-kart, is I put it on my place that I sit. So now I'm on my knees pulling the clutch off. But I'm going to try to reuse this clutch. I got to look at it. It looks okay. We're not going to change the gearing here if we change it. We're going to change it back here on the sprocket. So I think I can unbolt the plate from the motor, but we'll find out in a second now, won't we? What do we got? Are we on the right size? Yes, we are. Now, unless I've gravely miscalculated, that motor is completely free. Let's find out. And it is. So now we'll take old broken Tecumseh. We'll take this bad boy and give her a good bath. And we'll start prepping for the new motor. Now, I have to admit, this is my favorite part. I got soaking wet and I had to go back inside and change clothes. But this is the part I look forward to when I do something like this. Yeah, she came out pretty good. A whole lot of sanding, a whole lot of grinding rust away, and a little bit of paint. And she looks pretty nice now. So now it's time to put the clutch on. Motor's only being held on by these 2 bolts. The rest of the bolts that hold it down actually hold it to the frame, so I can't put them on until the end, until we get it over to the cart. There's one. Here's our second part. Oh, let's put the belt on. We're going to want a belt when this is done. How close are we? We're not even close. This is definitely the most entertaining part of the whole thing. There we go. Now we're looking good. I'll put our cover back on. Thought about painting these red and not black, but I went with what I had with me. And that's it. She's ready to go. And looking just a little bit better anyway, now that I've fingerprinted it all up. Okay, let's carry her over to the cart and get her bolted down. Now we're up to my favorite part, putting the new motor in the frame. And it didn't get any lighter either. Hard to believe that a new motor would be just as heavy as the old motor. Now the tricky part here is getting this one bolt to line up, because that one bolt is the hokey pokey. It won't fit when the motor's on the frame, so we have to get everything done ahead of time. So now we got it laying here, so I'll scoot it over. And there it is. Now everything's all wonky and out of line. We'll go ahead and get the other bolts in place and try to scoot it around till they fall in. Okay, now I'll go for the front bolts. See if we can get lucky. Yeah, we got 2. Hopefully 3 and 4 will go just as easily. It's not so much getting the bolts on the frame, it's getting them through the plate. The plate leaves very little room. for error. Okay, there's 3. Now it looks like it's halfway through. So let's see if we can Ouija it in. And it's in. We've got our 4 bolts in place. Now, I'm going to go ahead and throw some nuts on the bottom, and we'll be back in a minute. Now it's time for my favorite part. We get to break the engine in. So the first thing we're going to do is fill her up with oil. And we're using conventional oil. You don't want to use synthetic on a break-in. The way they've got this motor set up, I just don't see a way to drain the oil back out without making a mess unless I pump it out. So we voted and we're just going to make a mess. Ugh. There you go. Okay, we've got about 3/4 of the oil we need in there. Add a little bit more and see where we're at. Add a little bit more and see where we're at. Just a tiny bit more, and let's check the fill level now. Now this is just break-in oil. It's not oil we're going to keep. So we're not getting fancy with this. Yep, and I can see the oil on the threads right here. It's about halfway up the threads, so that's good. So let's put some gas in it and give her a run. Had to go get some gas. Turned out I was dead out and didn't know it. So let's fill this guy up a little bit. Okay. Very good. Now with this set of oil, notice I've got the clutch disconnected completely. I've got the belt off because we don't have any brakes on it yet. That's coming up next. And I don't want it running off on me. Now we're just going to let her sit like that for half an hour. It'll be a little annoying, so we'll come back later. The break-in period for me involves a couple of different oil changes and running it for half hour, 45 minutes each time. And so what we're going to do now is I'm going to go through the break-in period, get all that finished. And next time we're going to go ahead and wire the ignition up so that we have a kill switch up front and get the brakes all sorted out and shake it down and see what we need to do next. So we'll see you next time.